The super family comes back together to defeat their worst enemy yet. Screen time.
Welcome to the Walt Vault with Andre,
Michelle,
Emily,
And Luis.
We are a family-friendly podcast where each and every week we watch and review a different Disney movie. Be sure to subscribe on all podcast platforms and YouTube. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to the Walt Vault, episode 144.
that's right. 144.
I definitely made a mistake last time and said 142, but it was 143.
You know, it's kind of hard to keep track at this point, so
Well,
honest mistake.
I make all the posters and write it in the descriptions, so I should probably be able to keep track.
Hey,
So
Mike, Andre or Luis wants
We're
to know if you
talking
listen to
directly to
Stadio
one
Money.
what did you say?
Luis, we were at dinner and we were eating McDonald's and Taco Bell, and he said, "I wonder if Mike listened to that Stadio Money song."
Dude, you realize that by the time he hears you asking him, he probably did hear it.
That's true.
Yeah,
But
catch up on the backlog.
We're talking about
Sadia.
how long we waited in line to get Disneyland tickets. No, we're talking about a movie, Incredibles 2,
A movie.
which has been highly requested.
That's right.
I don't want to hear one more person ask for Incredibles.
Luis
2.
thought we did it. He was like, "Are you sure we haven't done this?"
I don't know why yesterday I was watching it, I was thinking, did we do it?
That was me with the Jungle Book, though.
We only
Remember,
did
I was
the
like
first one.
convinced that we had done it.
Right.
Still kind
That's
of
right, I remember.
Yeah, that's where I got my
That's where
$10,000
you
We did it, right? We
That's
did it
where you
now?
owe her $10,000.
Yes, we did it now.
Yes, now
All
we've
right.
done it, and we still owe them $10,000. Which
Also-
we can't pay. Patreon.com/The Walt Vault.
I need all of our listeners to know that we all got Disneyland tickets because that's how cool we are.
Well, don't make them feel bad if they don't live in
Oh,
California.
no.
They can't
Yeah.
I
have
forget
them.
we have listeners in other states. Oh,
That's
no.
right.
Oh, no.
Disneyland opened up its
Oh, no.
its thing for tickets today, and we
Its thing?
we secured it.
Its website?
Yeah,
It's
it's
thing-a-ling.
thing. It's thing.com.
It was actually yesterday.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling. It was yesterday. So how many? I feel like a lot of people actually requested this movie.
Yeah, I believe
Fair amount.
it's come up in a couple of lists.
And I'm not upset about it because I had watched it a couple months ago and I really enjoyed it. And this time we watched it again, and I think it gets better each time I watch it. Like, I notice more things. Number one, it's got Michael Giacchino on the track, so you know it's going to be
On the track.
You
Laying
know
down
it's going to
beats.
be a banger.
I just thought he was over there on the turntable with the hat sideways and all that.
That's right. He's
He
like,
could
shade.
be. I don't know. I actually don't know what Michael Giacchino looks like. I guess we could look that up.
I think he
I need
looks
a
like
visual.
The guy from I don't know what he's in, but the guy that's in the Beauty and the Beast live action, the guy that plays the piano. What's his name?
oh,
The guy that I don't know because he looks like a piano to
I
me.
don't remember.
He looks like a piano.
He looks
That's
like
Michael
He most
Giacchino?
definitely was a piano. Good call,
Oh, he's
Michelle.
pretty young.
He's a guy.
I feel like a lot of composers are.
Oh, Michael Giacchino. You're like a normal looking dude.
Yeah, he actually probably could be
Giacchino.
with his hat sideways and doing. You know, I don't know. Oh, he wears a lot of bow ties. A lot of vests. He has a vest in every picture.
I
here.
like vests.
Yeah, he's a sharp dresser.
He's a composer, you know. Gotta look
He's
sharp.
got his designer glasses on.
Dun,
Oh,
dun, dun,
Is it
dun,
Tucci? Is the guy's last name Tucci?
Tucci.
Yes,
Tucci.
Danny Tucci or something like that.
Danny Tucci?
The guy who's
Wait.
in the live action Beauty and the Beast,
What?
and he plays the freaking.
Stanley Tucci.
That's what okay, I didn't even have to look it up, and I remembered his last name.
Wait,
Boom.
Did you say
I
Danny
don't
Tucci?
know who that
Danny
is.
Yes, you do.
You know who the Tooch?
Well, then you gotta show me a video.
Ah,
Either way, my first impression
That's what I
of...
thought Michael Giacchino was gonna look like.
I mean,
Let me see photo.
it's not.
Oh, they kinda look
super
alike.
far off.
Yeah, you're not wrong,
I like
I mean,
this
they don't
guy.
look alike, but you
but
know,
they're similar.
they're two
They're
dudes.
two white dudes.
They're two Italian men.
Yeah.
Giacchino, a Tucci.
A Tucci.
There's no Tucci in this movie. Yeah, this week.
Luigi.
Incredibles
I guess
2.
I took us in another direction. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you did. So my first impression of Incredibles 2 is I definitely liked it the first time I watched it, but I was like, oh, Incredibles 1 is better. Because you know how the first time you go into a sequel, you're usually really hard on it because
Yeah.
of the first movie. But now I've watched it twice more and I already want to watch it again. It's really, really good and very relatable. Like,
Yeah.
it's a relatable movie. I like so much that they tie it into just like a real life family. Like the first one was like that too, but you really get that vibe in the second one. And I really enjoy all of the home stuff the most. It's so good. Everything with Edna Mode and Jack is amazing. I really like this movie. It's one of the better Pixar sequels for sure.
Yeah.
How many have they had?
Well, all of the Toy Stories.
It's 3 Toy Stories.
The Cars.
2 Cars. A
Planes.
Nemo.
Nemo.
Planes doesn't count.
Man, you gotta get out of here,
Incredibles.
man.
Luis likes planes.
Planes is not made by Pixar, so it doesn't count.
Yeah.
And
They're in the same universe. It's so weird.
is that all the sequels? 7?
I think that's about it.
The blue fish one.
Yeah, Nemo.
Finding
I put that in
Dory,
there.
Yeah.
I think that's. Oh, Monsters U.
Monsters.
Oh, Monsters
8.
U, which people didn't like, but I
Pixar
thought was
sequels.
so
I
relatable.
like that.
I actually
movie.
like that movie
And we did
too.
that one already.
Yeah.
Um,
But Luis, what is your first impression of Incredibles 2?
I like that a lot. The first scene is awesome because it's an awesome scene of the last one too. The
Yeah.
Underminer. That dude is.
Yeah,
legit.
it kind of ties it in like seamlessly.
Was that Ratzenberger?
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, it kind of sounded like him, but we couldn't quite. We were looking at each other. Ratson is in.
Yeah.
Is it Ratzen?
It's cool.
Yeah, they
'cause
do a nice job of like tying it in right away.
Oh,
from
yeah.
the first one.
There's no. Sometimes they'll be like 4 months later or whatever, and this is. I
No,
like
this
that
picks
it's
up
literally
the
exactly.
moment the other one ends,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
which is dope.
Who was your favorite character? Because you were making me
Definitely-
laugh.
I was making you laugh.
Yeah, with who you were like swooning over.
Who are you rooting for?
It's not Tony. is it?
Darling.
Oh, I love Edna Mode.
Yeah.
Edna Mode
She's the
is
best.
the business, dude.
Just her freaking nose and her hair
Oh
and
my
her
God.
eyes. It's
She's
just so
literally the
good.
nanny
She's an
everyone
icon.
needs and a fashion icon. Yeah.
She's so funny.
And
But
she's
I was.
a genius.
Auntie Edna. I think that's where I got the Auntie Shell thing.
Yeah.
Was from this, like
Not just from
Auntie Edna.
Ants in general.
Well, I never
Specifically
called
from
my
this
aunts
movie?
Auntie.
Oh, I
No,
call
I
my
just called them
aunts
Aunt.
No, but didn't you call them auntie?
Well, I mean,
Because that's what I hear you call your aunts.
auntie.
Yeah, because I say Auntie Row.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll say Auntie Row. That's
Oh yeah,
weird.
I definitely
Auntie
called
Row.
my aunts
Right.
auntie.
I didn't.
Auntie.
So I think when I started
Auntie M.
Auntie Edna, it's so funny. Love it. All right, Andre, first impression.
Yeah, this movie is dope. I mean, The Incredibles, once again, definitely my favorite Pixar movie. One of my favorite movies just in general of all time. So I'm super in love with all these characters.
Especially because we've been watching superhero movies lately, and
Lately.
this is
How about my whole life, baby?
but
All right?
a lot lately, and this is still some of the best superhero stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. Like right now, I'm I just watched that 4-hour cut of Justice League, and I'm watching. We watched The Boys on Amazon, which is an adult show.
We watched some other superhero movies.
Yeah, we watched a whole bunch of stuff, and right now I'm obsessed with Invincible, which is a new Amazon show, also for adults, but very, very good. And this holds up against all of it. I mean, this kind of storytelling in The Incredibles 2 is just as good as all of this other newer, slightly shinier stuff. And I think that it's nearly as good as the first one, which is like super duper high praise for this movie in particular.
Absolutely. Emily.
2 thumbs.
So, I immediately said that I liked this one better than the first one. I think just because, like you were saying, it's very relatable to adults, and it grew up. Like, the first movie was good for all ages, and it was relatable to all ages, and I feel like this one was like, a little bit more adult in general.
Right.
And Luis and I were laughing last night because we were trying to find it on Disney Plus, and we could not find it. And then...
You couldn't find Incredibles 2?
No, and then I was like, I was about to text you guys, like, I don't know why, but
That's
Incredibles 2
weird.
isn't on there. So then I was like, dude, you're in the kid's profile. And you couldn't find it in the kid's profile. Like, it was like,
Really?
yeah.
It's
So-
rated PG.
So I don't know if it's because it has, like, scary moments or whatever, but then when we went into our normal
Wow.
account, it was there, obviously.
That's
Interesting.
fascinating.
I thought that was really interesting that it had been, like, flagged or what have you.
But if it's PG, babe, maybe all the things in the kids' account are G, though.
Maybe.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was really interesting
That
because
is.
I won't lie. Luis and I, the first time we saw it, we were like, dude, this screensaver is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like real creeper
It's very
vibes.
That
terrifying.
seems very creepy.
Very scary.
Mhm.
And for an animated movie too, like, oh, good lord.
Like, yes, Syndrome was killing people in the first one, but this was like creepier.
But he was like funny looking.
I mean, yeah.
Syndrome. Yeah.
Yeah, Screenslaver is like a scarier image, I suppose, especially because of all the hypnotism and stuff like that.
That's freaky.
Yeah. So, but I did like this one. I loved the parent stuff. I just thought that was so funny.
Why would they change math?
And I'm like, yeah, Common Core, feel you, bro. But I think I mean, it's the same from the first one. I love the music. I love the old-timey feel brought into, like, the now. The one thing I will say upon this viewing, though, is I liked the first 3/4 of the movie better than the last quarter.
The last chunk on the boat.
The chunk of the boat is like, it's funny, there's good moments, but like the rest of it is very succinct. And I feel like with the boat, it was like, how can we wrap this up?
Yeah.
And so the boat was just I'm not saying it wasn't good. It was just my least favorite part of the entire thing.
Everything I love is when they're in the house.
Oh, yeah.
So funny.
And I like anything with Lucius. He's freaking hilarious.
Yes.
Dude, just anytime Elastigirl's on that bike, man, I'm having a good old time.
Well, and let's be real. Like,
she's straight
Mama rubber band.
This time, so every time up until now I've ever watched an Incredibles movie, I have never, ever thought about like the way the characters were drawn, just because I don't know, I'm not like a 13-year-old or however old Andre is boy.
What?
Yeah, but when I see her in the parks, I'm like, she's straight thick.
For sure. But now, like, since Luis and Andre have said stuff and you see memes all the time about her hips and this and that, this time I was watching it and I was like, oh my gosh, she is voluptuous.
And when she's on the bike and like stretching herself like that, and then the back part of the bike snaps up.
She toned down because in the first one she was kind of hips all over, but I saw it more like kind of lifted.
I think because she's wearing black in this one.
You know what I was thinking is that she has.
Luis did a whole hand motion like he was gripping the entire.
Right, he did a very
like a peach
and like peached it up.
I was thinking that she
might know a little
she has complete control over her entire shape. Like she can turn herself into a boat or a parachute or whatever. So she is putting them curves on herself. I don't think that's just.
She still looks curvy in her mom jeans.
This is the shape she has chosen. You know, she's like, I popped out 3 kids. And I'm going boom, 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 pow, pow. 26, 36,
She can
86.
choose her
you know?
shape.
86. Shut the.
I'm just gonna say it. I can't stand her freaking voice.
Yeah,
man.
you said that in the regular.
Dude, she's awesome. What's her name?
Luis said that in the first episode though too.
I disagree. I think it's
Holly
perfect.
Hunter as Helen
It's
Parr.
like she's talking like this.
I mean, she's got an accent.
That's not what she sounds like.
Are you saying she's Shakira?
Bob.
It's
think
like
it's
she's
perfect.
talking with Saka's lips out the nose.
So you don't like lisps?
Man, she's been drinking more than us.
Helen Parr.
Helen Parr.
Helen Parr. I love her. She's awesome in this movie, and I like the.
I'll have to say
stuff that they did with her.
my favorite in this movie though is Dash, because he has literally the best one-liners ever in this movie. And it makes me want to have a boy so bad, like, just for that reason, just for him to be a little turd.
I hate this. Dash is the worst speedster ever.
He's a baby.
He's a kid.
First off, he's better than
Better than Quicksilver, okay?
He's not better than Quicksilver.
Yes, he is. He's
because all he was doing at the beginning of that scene is just running. He wasn't doing anything.
Well, because he was trying to babysit.
No. He gave the baby up at the beginning.
He moved the lady out the way.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. It was her time, all right?
Oh
just saying.
My God, you're so judgmental of the speedsters. He's a kid.
He was awful.
He's great. He goes, it defines who I am.
Yeah.
About
his lines
powers.
are great. He's not a good superhero.
He's so
like
cute.
he needs to be phasing through those buildings if he knows what a speedster really does.
I did mention
He's
that.
a kid. He doesn't know how to do it yet.
Yeah.
Well, that's his fault. He's had 12 years to perfect it.
Listen, they're not allowed to practice their powers. Superheroes are illegal.
That's true.
No,
I hope you guys
that
can
didn't
see
stop
my
Barry
face right
Allen
now.
from being inside the
Plus,
shut up.
Okay.
Barry Allen is so stupid.
The first movie took place like 45 minutes before this movie. You know, like he got his suit like yesterday. They just got off that island. They just got back home.
I literally was born yesterday.
Their house just blew up from syndrome.
He's not allowed
and
to
stuff
use
like
his
that.
powers. He gets in trouble. Think about it when he was running track.
He just ran on water for the first time like yesterday, dog. You know, give him a minute.
He's the first one to do anything over water in over 2,000 years, and all of a sudden he can't phase. Like, come on.
When is he supposed to phase? When was it necessary in this movie?
When you
at the
needed
end
to
when
get
Jack is phasing through walls and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's okay.
We need to move on because this is a silly
awful
argument.
speedster. End of story.
He's
Whatever.
Good.
I
It has
love
nothing to do with the plot.
Dash.
Move
I love Dash.
Dash
But
is
I
cool.
also
Let me be honest though. I liked his one-liner. She was great as a human being, but as a superhero,
Wow, Louise.
you're great as this freaking human
I mean, he
being.
was saving babies.
It defines who I am.
I will say that in the first movie, if we're talking characters, I really couldn't stand Violet. And in this movie, she's also very funny.
She's
like
awesome.
I get that
When she's being a teenager?
Yes.
Oh, so
like
good.
when she gets mad and she tries to put her suit
I
down
denounce
the
superheroes.
Oh my! When she tries to put it down the garbage disposal and then
Yes.
throws it against the wall. Oh, that's just great.
I love when the scene where she's freaking invisible and you just see her clothes and she's like, she's going to the freezer and getting the ice cream. And I told Andre,
It's just a sweater.
I was
Dude,
like,
that was
see,
hecka
that's why you
creepy.
always had the freezer stocked with ice cream.
That's
It was so
hecka
funny.
creepy.
Yeah, what would you ever do
So
without your
funny.
eyes?
I don't know why, but it
trying to-
reminds me of that.
As a teenager, yeah.
Reminds me of that scene. Reminds me of the book The Invisible Man all the time.
I mean, yeah.
Because didn't he have like glasses that would always show up?
No, you're thinking about the one from Incredible League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
The Incredible
You mean
League.
The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
No, you know what? Here's the deal. I'm getting them mixed up with
The Incredibles.
the Extraordinary.
The League of
The
Extraordinary
League of
Gentlemen.
I'm
Extraordinary
getting it mixed
Gentlemen.
up with like the book 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. That's
Oh.
and that's part of the movie.
He did that
so-
league.
Oh.
So that book was wrong.
Oh my God, my eyes are so big right now.
800
Move
pages.
along, move
Read it in
So,
7th grade. Tell me
Let's
who.
get into the storyline.
Me.
This movie starts, like we said, literally where the last movie left off.
The
Underminer.
The Underminer is here, and they got to go to work because they're a superhero family. Okay.
Can I tell you a story really funny?
Yes.
So yesterday I had to work in Adeline's classroom because she goes to a co-op preschool, so the parents have to work in the classroom, and the kids were on one. They were like on the verge of like fist punching each other. I don't know what fist punching is. Just punching
punching.
It
each
does.
other.
I know what it is.
Like
I know
When
punching
you-
each
The
other.
opposite of foot punching.
Yeah, when you roll your hands into a fist, then you punch someone.
I'm done with you. But like they're
The only
freaking-
kind of punching.
They're like 3 and 4 year olds. I'm like, what is
Okay.
the deal? They're like super aggressive, and like some of the kids are getting to the point where like they're used to being like by themselves, so they're like pulling away from the group or whatever. And one of the kids yesterday like didn't want to play with any other kids, so I was like going near him and I'm like, hey Johnny, do you want to play with the rest of the kids? And he's like, I'm not Johnny, I'm the Underminer.
What?
And I just started laughing.
Oh, he's the
And
best.
the other mom was like, who's the Underminer, Johnny? And I was like, well, me and Johnny at the same time were like, oh, he's from The Incredibles. And the mom,
Johnny loves you now.
yeah. And the mom looked at me and she's like, how did you know that? And I kind of wanted to be like, how did you not know that? And she's like, you're just a really interesting person. I saw that you're on like a Disney thing. I'm like a Disney podcast. Yeah. So you like knew that? I was like, yes, I knew
Yeah,
that.
Disney adults are a real thing, people. Okay, we're out here.
So anyway, the rest of the day, Johnny was the Underminer, and I told his mom,
That's
and
awesome.
she was like, oh yeah, we watched The Incredibles way too much. And I was like,
Yeah.
well, your kid's an icon, so.
That's me every day at work with the kids. People are like, what are they talking about? I'm like, you don't know what that is?
The
Okay.
Underminer attacked the city.
Yeah.
Were you not there?
Were you
Yeah,
there?
I
You're
mean,
not paying attention? The movie won Oscars.
Well,
Okay?
there's this one kid at my job that always makes this sound. And I know he's being Iron Man. And so I'll like say Iron Man and he'll be like, yeah, because he doesn't talk that much, but he's always doing that.
oh,
And he's
the
like going
ice
like
cream.
this. That's pretty good. Yeah. You didn't understand what I was saying? But he does it all the time. But he, instead of like putting his hands out in front of him, he puts them to the side.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I
he's
think he's trying to
flying.
go up, like,
Yeah.
and he kind of does his shoulder thing. And people are like, what is he doing? I'm like, he's Iron Man.
That makes sense.
Let
to me.
the homie be.
Let the homie
Okay.
be.
He's Iron Man, okay?
Anyway, Underminer is attacking the city. And
Don't tell me we're 30 minutes in and we're still just starting it.
we're only 18
Nah.
minutes in.
Okay.
We see
Underminer.
we see the homie Tony Ridinger. Okay, he had just agreed to go out with Violet,
Oh,
and
Tony.
he
He's so cute.
since Underminer's
Tony.
attacking the city.
Not that, Tony.
It doesn't get any less funny.
It never is going to get old.
He built these parts in a cave. Tony.
He asked her out on a date.
I just want to watch that movie
So,
again.
Tony Reidinger, he sees Violet dressed up as an incredible kid or whatever, Incredikid.
Yeah, she accidentally took off her mask, because that makes a
Right, she
difference.
threw a mask on the ground. So
Never understood the mask superhero things. I know Clark Kent is Superman just because he's wearing glasses.
I don't know, man. If I had some bags under my eyes, you wouldn't know who I am.
The thing about superheroes is that if
I can't even.
the secret identity isn't a famous person, then it kind of doesn't matter if you can see what their face looks like. Because I'm just seeing a person in a big bright red suit wearing a tiny little itty bitty mask. That's all I can imagine, and I'm not just scanning faces every day to find if Mr.
You
Incredible
would be.
lives.
I have a
Well,
high attention to
absolutely
detail.
would be, but
I would know.
not everybody would.
Though I would.
And you only got to fool the people who are paying attention.
But honestly, though, Superman one is the worst because all he does is just wear glasses.
And
all of,
all of his friends are
I know.
reporters, and they're
Andre
like,
had
I
me-
wonder who the Superman guy is.
Andre had me watch some of the Superman movies, and I was like, wow, what a great disguise.
Like literally, all it is just a couple of frames over his nose, and you're not him.
He slouches, but it doesn't matter that.
And he pretends to have scoliosis. There you go.
It doesn't matter that Tony finds out who Violet is because Agent Rick Dicker from the first movie comes back and he
Oh,
interviews
Rick.
him for a
Am I
little
the only
bit.
one who just sees him and just imagines Richard Nixon?
What?
That's all I think about whenever
sure.
I see him.
I
I'm
mean,
like,
yeah, definitely.
I'm like,
I
Dick, he
did
got
not-
another government job.
And that's why they named him Rick
You
Dicker.
couldn't keep him out.
He quit that one job and got another one. It was
Mr. Dicker.
Jonathan Banks from Breaking Bad, the guy who plays Mike. If you've seen that show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But Agent Rick Dicker, he interviews Tony and then he gives him the mind wipe machine. He puts a little plunger on his forehead and sucks all the memories of Violet out, which is funny.
It's not
I won't
an
lie,
exact
when-
science.
Suck some of my
Hey,
memories out, homie.
When I
like,
saw that laser pointing to his, I was like, what are they going to do to this guy?
Just lobotomize
It's
him.
the best way they could have done it. Let's be honest. Just a little.
Yeah,
That was it.
it was easy.
especially for a kid, like, what's going on? Oh, it's a little toilet plunger.
This is cool. And your brain gets fried. So the Underminer is attacking the city. He's got a gigantic drill that he drills through buildings
He's just
and
like
streets
that
and
guy
stuff like
from
that.
Atlantis. The Mr. Mole Man.
Oh, that guy was creepy.
What are you doing with your arm?
That was the drill.
Oh.
I thought you were about to go into that song in Dave Chappelle.
You said Atlantis, and my mind jumped to Aquaman instead of Atlantis, the animated
No, but you
movie.
know the little mole
Yes,
man?
yes, I
And
remember.
he's like,
But my brain was scanning a different movie. That's all.
Oh.
I was caught up. So yes, he's driving this gigantic machine through the city. He's trying to attack a bank. The Incredibles are onto his tail.
What is it called?
The municipal building.
No, what's Municiberg? Is that the name of the
Yeah,
city?
Municiberg.
I was dying.
Municiberg?
That's so funny.
Yeah. So he's attacking the city, and the Incredibles are in pursuit.
And it's all in the background.
Frozone shows up.
Frozone.
his theme song plays. They head inside, or Mr. Incredible heads inside the gigantic drill machine, and he fights the Underminer, who sucks him
away.
through a vacuum, which is very funny, and sucks him a bunch of money in there too. And then he takes his money and he escapes out of a smaller drill. The drill is driving towards the municipal building in Municiberg, and the Incredibles have to stop it. Helen goes inside to tip over a thing, and
The boiler,
the
and she like
boiler.
grabs onto like part of the drill,
Right.
and she's really showcasing her, like literally her elasticity and flexibility as a superhero. She's amazing. I think what's really interesting here is when you go back and watch it, knowing what the rest of the movie holds.
Mm-hmm.
You really do see like, oh my god, she is the better superhero.
Right.
Yeah, she
You
is.
gotta
Maybe not
watch
so much that
Elastigirl.
like she doesn't like. I mean,
Dude,
strength
she's
isn't always the
cost-effective.
best part.
She's cost effective.
Seriously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
If we learned anything
doesn't
from
destroy as
Avengers,
much.
it's that they like to mess up the city. And what
Well,
happened?
they don't like to. They're just reckless.
Yeah, it's
Well,
just- it just
that's why they
happens.
like to do it, okay?
Well,
Hulk smash, okay?
Well,
If
I'm
I
pretty
could, I
sure
would.
they don't like to be reckless.
Hulk smash, he likes it.
One Avenger.
He likes
He
it.
likes it.
One
Well, either way,
fourth.
that's doing a lot of damage, and
If
what
it were me, I
happened-
would enjoy it.
Yes, they saved. I would too. If I had those powers, I'd smash a building for sure. They saved. Well, they saved the drilly car from hitting the municipal building,
Mm-hmm.
but
car.
they got arrested because number one, superheroes are illegal, and
Right.
number two, the cops were so pissed because they damaged the city. They were like, we have insurance in place for this.
If you had just done nothing, it would have been better than you doing anything. Which is like,
Which
it
is
seems
like
upsetting
so sad
for like that old lady that got saved, who definitely would have been extra dead right now if they hadn't done anything.
Like
you
I
know?
said, it was her time. They shouldn't have got involved.
It was her time.
Well, if they just had like this. If you
Luis
think about
is the Grim Reaper over here.
The Underminer is the
if you
Grim
think
Reaper.
about the whole movie that happened before, like they were in their element, you know, like messing it up, superheroing, punching the bad guys, pow, pow, pow,
On
and
an
then
island,
they just
yes.
got dejected hardcore.
Oh,
For
yeah.
trying to.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they had just saved the city with Syndrome and his gigantic robot. But yeah, not everybody's still on their
Not
their
good
side.
enough. It wasn't good enough. I
Right.
guess.
You know, Munisburg keeps getting, leveled. I guess, people aren't happy about it. And that's kind of what the homies at DevTech say to them in a little bit, right? That the reason that people don't trust you is because they don't know what it's like to be in your shoes. You know, they see damage and they see you in your bright costumes, and that's it. They don't know the tough decisions that you have to make, which is like a really cool.
Yeah,
cool
that guy
idea.
is really smart.
Yes,
He's
yes, yes.
also from
From Breaking Bad,
Yeah, from
yes.
Breaking
It's,
Bad.
it's
Dude,
Bob Odenkirk.
talk about like
It's Better Call Saul.
drawing him for his face.
It's literally
yeah,
him.
It's literally him.
Exactly
I cannot
him.
see
He's
anybody.
Saul, right?
Yeah,
yes,
he saw.
But it like they drew him at him.
I was like, dude, this is
Like they must have
that's
cast
Saul.
him first.
Okay, Saul must have gotten a promotion.
You know who the
or
actor is,
something.
Emily?
He showed me a picture, and I
He's
was like,
done
oh,
other
yeah.
stuff, and he's been really good in other stuff.
But like,
yeah, he's hilarious.
I'm pretty sure they cast him and then they drew the character to look like him.
Yeah.
Well,
'Cause it
that, I mean,
is him.
that's how they do it. I was watching today. There's an audio commentary on Disney Plus in the extra section, and normally it's the directors, but in this one it was the three like lead animators
It's a
on,
whole
on the
movie,
movie.
right?
Yeah, and they're just talking over the whole movie. So they were saying specifically about Bob Odenkirk when he showed up. That well, first of all of the cast, they come in, record their lines, and then they animate to the voice recordings. So they're basing the animation off of the direct voice of the
Yeah.
person.
Isn't
So it's
that
easy
just
to
harder.
Well, no, because
No.
Because if not, the voice actor would have to,
Match up. the
match
movement.
to the sound.
they would have to
So they
animate.
don't
They would have to
draw it.
animate to nothing. They draw it. They do storyboards and stuff like that, but they don't do the full character animations until after the voice recordings have been done.
Yeah.
That seems
No, because if you see an
reverse
animation,
engineering. Like,
no, if you see like an animated figure talking and you have to match it, then you can't like make your lines have like feeling.
It's harder to do. Yeah, it's easier for them if
doesn't
they.
seem harder to me.
Well, you have to think on who do you want it to be easier on? Like one would be maybe easier for the animator or easier for the voice actor. And I feel like
And you get
this
a more-
sounds rude, but like they're hiring the voice actor to do a voice acting job. Like the animators are going to be animators no matter what.
Right.
That's their job.
It's their job to take their time.
But
and
I
go
guess
slow.
unless somebody tells me how they want me to do it, like I'm thinking I'm gonna do it however it's supposed to be drawn.
Well, that's the thing is that they can draw whatever they want. You know, the sky is the limit. So all you have to do is put your
So like if
performance
I'm
out there,
over here,
and they'll match
extra
it.
exuberant, and then they draw me with a stale face.
Well,
like,
that's their fault.
Right. That's them messing up, which they did not do in this movie because
No.
all of the
That's why
acting
you would-
that
you
seems
see
like it takes
is-
longer.
It
to
definitely
do.
takes a long
and that
time.
seems like it costs a lot more money to do.
Well, the
They got
budget for
money.
this movie.
So why it makes no sense?
because
Disney.
it makes a better
Because it has
movie.
a better
If you're gonna
product.
charge me $15 to watch a movie on a free platform that I already pay money on, then save some money and do the drawing
They
first,
didn't
and then
charge
the
you
voice
$15
actors.
to watch Incredibles 2.
Luis, I'm going to spoil this right now. This movie had a $200 million budget, which is a lot of money, but it made $1.2 billion. So it made $1 billion more than they spent
Because
on
they
it.
made
So
quality.
the
It
money
could
that
have
they
made-
spent was worth it.
It
I
could have
think.
made $1 billion and no, it could have made $0.2 billion
I'm
more
so
if they
done
just
with him
did
right
the other
now.
thing.
I don't think movies
No.
are a thing to be frugal in.
Okay, Luis.
I mean, they
I
can
like
be.
that you're talking more in this episode, but all the things you're talking about, is this what you keep in your head? Like
Yeah,
when
he's
you're not
opinionated.
talking?
I like it.
He's
Like-
giving me such angry eyes right now.
Luis
Okay,
is
so-
frugal. Okay, he would
No.
coupon a movie if he could.
Luis, what you're talking about, it happens.
Dude,
it happens
we-
all the time in anime, right? So they do kind of the Pixar style where they have the voice actors in Japanese record first, and then they animate to the Japanese, and then they have the American voice actors come in and dub over what's already been animated, where
And
the
that's why
Japanese
we say
people
it
are
looks
speaking,
bad.
and it doesn't look as good as when they do it Japanese to animation. You know, so that's kind of a difference.
Because then
There's a lot of stuff lost in translation, though. This
Sure.
is an English movie.
I know, so that's why they're animating to the voice of the English characters.
You're not gonna convince me. I understand how it's done, but you're not gonna convince me that it's more effective. More effective in terms of the monetary value or the money you could be saving, and more effective in terms of like.
But people don't care if. I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but they don't care if they're saving money because
Disney
they
needs to
want
hire me. If they hire me, they'll be making $1 billion on their movies.
No, that's not true.
The charts are just going downward. No, but like that's the thing about Pixar is that this movie is freaking gorgeous. Like it's so pretty the entire way through. Every motion looks amazing. And if they did it the way that you're talking about, it look all kind of jittery and jattery, and it wouldn't look as smooth and nice.
It would work.
No,
it
because
wouldn't.
the actors would be more stilted because they would have to act against stuff that's already animated.
So tell me
they're
this.
like, and then I went outside to the,
they wouldn't get to
it's
be
not
like,
as good of a
"Oh,
performance.
So riddle me this, Jim Carrey. Okay, here's the deal. Then why is it that in other types of movies we see these peeps looking at the screen and then talking over and then getting all into it?
In live action movies?
No, and
I don't
like
know
and
what
like
he's
things
talking
where there's
about.
like animation or clearly it's not them.
What?
What do you
like
mean?
in what?
Smog, Benedict, Smeagol. Like,
That is me.
why are they looking at themselves as they're doing their lines in the movie?
No, they're not looking at them.
What do you mean looking at
you're
themselves?
talking about method acting, but
And
they're
you're also talking about ADR. Which
and they
is-
have like sensors and stuff on their body that they
no,
then go
I
back
swear,
and
I
CG.
can't remember what movie it was, but I saw a movie where the person is voice acting and they're looking at themselves and voice acting as they're looking at the animation.
So that's a thing that happens in a lot of movies, not just animated movies. It's ADR, where they have done the animation, they have done some voice recordings already, and then after it's already been all animated, they bring the actors back in to do something different. And then the actors are looking at the character on a screen and acting against it. That does happen. But I'm saying that for the bulk of this movie, they had the actors do the voice acting first and animated to that. And I think it turned out pretty freaking good.
No, I'm not saying it turned out amazing for sure. I'm just thinking I could have pinched about $500,000 more.
And that's why,
I'm
just so
saying.
everybody
I'm just
knows,
saying.
that's why our life is literally nickeled and dimed because Luis want to save
It would go from
$500,000.
200 million to
I'm just
199.5, dog. Okay.
I can't believe we got these Disneyland tickets. Okay,
I mean,
because I didn't tell him.
I mean,
Just bought them.
I mean, do you really need those, couple extra lines from the Underminer? No.
Cut them out.
Oh.
Bye, Ratzenberger.
No.
Goodbye.
Luis could never be a producer. Oh my god.
Oh.
Peeps,
And
I'd
he's
be-
over here wanting to watch the sound.
You know,
of music.
hey,
He's
Yeah.
gonna be
no,
This
for real
is,
though.
this is
I
a
would not
DreamWorks
be-
guy over here. is
We're
what I'm
talking about.
hearing.
I'd be an amazing producer. I'd be saving us so much money,
You'd be nickel
saving
and diming.
myself so much money that I'm investing
At
in
He's
this.
what
out here
cost?
making Shark Tale and
Shut up! I like Shark Tale.
Shark Tale.
Shark Tale, dude.
Tail's good.
It's
I
got
liked that.
it's got Will
movie.
Smith and Angelina Jolie and their fish and
Yeah,
Jack
it's
Black
fi-
as a
it's
shark.
Finding Nemo.
It came out right after Finding Nemo.
Yeah,
and it's
No,
from
dude, we're
DreamWorks.
making that
And they
one
did the
pigeon
car
movie,
wash?
Eyes in the Sky.
I don't know what that is.
What are
Remember
you
that one?
talking about?
Or is it Spies in the Sky or something like that?
Oh,
Spies in Disguise?
The
Spies
other
in
one with Will
Disguise.
Smith.
Yes, that's a newer one.
You say
Yeah.
Fishtails.
fly in the
Yes,
sky.
I said pies in the sky, Michelle.
Please stop.
We have all been drinking. Okay.
Spies in disguise. Yes, we are all drinking currently. So sorry. Also, I've been trying not to eat in
Speak
the
for
microphone.
yourselves, guys. I ain't drinking. What are you talking about?
Beer in his hand. I don't think I got past the first scene.
Damn it, we're
Okay,
still
they're
on-
at DevTech. Okay, they're living in a motel right now because their house got
Blown up
destroyed by
by
Syndrome.
Syndrome. Mhm.
Okay, so now they're living in a motel for 2 weeks. They don't have the help of Mr. Dicker anymore.
And they don't have a jobs.
They don't have no jobs. They have no money yet. Somehow they were ordering Chinese food for dinner. I'm not sure how. They had a little
They
bit of
got
money
credit
left.
cards.
Feel like I
Let
have
them be.
some money
Credit
in the
cards.
bank.
That's true. I forget
I
about those.
won't even lie. Last night when we were watching it, I was like, "Ooh, that Chinese food looks good. I don't care if it's animated."
Who ordered all vegetables?
That's definitely me as a kid. What's these vegetables?
Here's another bad thing.
Lucius.
Okay.
Oh my god!
Guy's a
another-
speedster,
Okay.
and you
no.
give him
Uh-huh.
a bunch, and I mean a bunch like you can fit in your hand of vegetables, and you expect him to have his energy back. Guy should be eating like about 34 cases of that thing to get back his energy because he's expending.
He's 7.
He's small.
Even more. You know how fast his dang heartbeat is going, or his heart is beating.
Louise, sometimes
you know how
have
many
to
calories
suspend your
he's
disbelief.
expending.
Just a little bit.
He should have
He
been
was
eating
eating-
about 34 of those cases just to replenish that whole thing.
He was eating a lot.
Yeah.
And
Again,
he
another
finished-
reason why he's a bad speedster.
He finished before everybody else. He was the fastest man at the table.
Again,
Well, his mom doesn't feed him enough. Okay.
that's the problem.
Malnutrition.
Maybe if they fed him what he should be eating, he could be
And
phasing
he could
through
be phasing
stuff.
through stuff. Yeah. Okay.
I'm done with you.
Fair enough.
Go to bed.
Fair
So
enough.
Lucius comes and he's like, "Listen, I got a call from this guy, and he's an entrepreneur, and he wants us to come see him, all of us.
Wear your old outfits.
Wear your old outfits, old school."
It's gonna be nice.
Honestly, what's the guy's name?
Winston Dever.
I love him.
Yes, that's Bob Odenkirk.
So let's pause. The first time I watched this movie, I definitely thought that Winston was going to like cross them somehow.
Right.
Yeah.
Thought he was gonna be the bad guy.
That's
Yeah.
what they want you to think.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So like the whole time, especially the first time, I was listening to him and being like,
Mr. Incredible.
Yeah.
You gonna put body
Incredible.
cams on the superheroes? I don't think so,
Incredible.
buddy.
I know, I
Punching
was
the
like-
bad guys. Pow, pow, pow.
I like how she knows the song.
Oh yeah, she listens to him in the car a lot.
Frozen. Who's the cat who's always chill when survival odds are close to nil? Frozen.
Okay, can we get to the next scene?
Yeah, shout out to Michael Giacchino once again. So they all go there. They talk to Bob Odenkirk, Winston Dever, and his sister Evelyn Dever, who
Who voices her? She has a fun voice.
she is voiced by Catherine Keener, who you know from The 40-Year-Old Virgin and Get Out. She was the white mom with the tea stick. She was
I don't think
hypnotizing
Emily
people
saw
with the
that
tea.
movie, did you?
I definitely saw that movie.
Get Out.
And I liked like the first 3/4 of it, and then the last quarter I was like, oh good God, okay.
Oh my heavens.
Yeah.
The deer.
Like it was really good, and then I was like, oh, we could have done something.
Something else. Anyway, yeah. So they're there. Evelyn makes the tech, and Winston does the sales. And their whole goal is to get supers back to being legal again, because their parents like worshiped supers when they were kids. And as soon as the supers became illegal, that's the day that their parents were murdered by muggers who broke into their house or whatever. And so that's what drives them.
That's what happened to Tony Stark's parents.
But you know what? I'm not gonna lie. That
But
girl
then
has a
stupid
point.
Bucky
Like,
came in, and
you got a
Yeah.
safe house. Why get in the safe house?
It would have been Evelyn in this situation. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
No, like it's
you'd have been the
it's
Evelyn.
perfectly logical. Why would you not get in the
That's
safe
exactly
house?
what Evelyn did.
because people who believe in superheroes saving them are not thinking logically.
Yeah, he was
in
trying
the
to pick up
moment,
his
Louis.
gazer beam phone.
Yeah, like believing.
Gazer
Mr. Beam
beam.
had gotten murdered. Well, not yet.
It's like believing in the Easter Bunny, man. Come on.
Gazer beam, help! Yeah. So their whole plan is to do a launch with the superheroes, and they want Elastigirl to be leading the entire thing.
Poor Mr. Incredible.
And Mr. Incredible feels just a little bit emasculated by this. He
I won't even lie. It's so funny.
It's very funny.
It's funny, but also like semi annoying to watch him because you're like, pick up your husband back. Excuse me. Do you have to like get it together?
Mhm.
Be proud of your wife. Like
Right.
put your pride aside, bro.
And he does do that, but he's so
begrudgingly.
begrudgingly.
Like-
He's
I also feel
you're
like-
gonna be great out there, honey.
He's trying really hard.
I'm Mr.
But
Incredible.
I know.
Yeah. But he is excited for her, and she,
Ish.
yeah, she's trepidatious. She's like, I don't know if I can leave the kids in the house, and you're definitely not capable. I don't think you could watch these 3 children by yourself. You're a big dummy. And and he was like, no, it's okay. I got it.
He don't got it.
I'm super dad. I'm Mr. Incredible. Okay, I can take care of some children. So they swap roles. You know, she goes out to do a superhero
Which
gig,
is the best. This must have been so fun to plan.
and he
this part
stays
of
at
the movie.
home.
Look, we gloss over the fact that they don't want him to be the one because of the simple fact that he is the
costs
worst
money.
when it comes to
He's
costing
like the Hulk.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a rampager. He's a building breaker, and he's costing the taxpayers money for sure.
For sure.
Mr. Incredible. His way of saving things
Punching
usually
the bad guys. Yeah.
ends up getting things destroyed. So they're going for a softer touch, which is definitely Elastigirl. They gave her a new suit, which is reminiscent of her old suit, but like way cool. I really like her new suit.
Yeah.
The silver one.
The
It's banging,
silver
it's
one,
very
the
cool.
silver ones with the black boots and the black mask. And
I
her
I
big
don't
butt.
remember if the old suit had the same EG for Elastigirl, but I love
No,
the way it
it
looked.
didn't.
It had a
No, they all
logo,
had I
didn't
for
it?
Incredible.
No, but her Elastigirl suit.
Oh, it might have.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I
I
think
just
that's
like
her
the
logo.
way the logo goes together. It's very smart. I like it.
Yeah, and it's cool because they also put it on her brand new motorbike.
Dude, that bike is sick.
Her bike is awesome. It's electric, all electric. It separates with magnets.
It's torquey.
It has
also,
a whole bunch
they
of
get
torque.
to live in this super freaking cool house mansion.
Yes, the Devers put them up in an old bachelor's mansion, and this must have been some old superhero, Tony Stark type, because everything in the house is balling. But like too much. Dash goes in there, he starts playing with the remote and opening walkways and turning them into waterways, and there's waterfalls and stuff, and the couch falls in. Oh,
No
God.
doubt, I would totally do that and be like, no.
Literally, when Dash is like, it's got a huge yard. I'm like, that's gonna be me one day. Woo!
Yeah, so they get put up in this
And he
gigantic
can
house.
run.
He can run all over the place, around,
Slowly
around
Feel
the
the
pool.
wind in his hair. Next to a forest.
Yeah, so Elastigirl gets to go out on her first mission, and Bob stays home with the kids. He's got Violet, who is supposed to go on a date with Tony Ridinger, but Tony doesn't remember who she is. Dash
So sad.
doesn't
know how to do math.
He has to do homework, but it's all Common Core math, and nobody knows how to do that. And
Why would they change math?
and Jack
and he's
Jack
like, it's okay, Dad. I'll wait for Mom. And he's like, no.
and Jack Jack is a very cute baby that happens to have all of the powers on Earth. He has all of them, and
He's so cool.
they all go off at random times, and Bob is just now discovering this.
I do think the whole scene of Jack like fighting the raccoon is pretty silly.
It's awesome.
It's a
Oh, I
little
like-
too silly for me, but I still like it. It's not like the baby with the freaking monkeys and Raya, you know.
Oh.
I love that scene, and I just kept telling them, dude, this raccoon has a death wish. I would have
Why
been
does
gone.
this raccoon just give up?
Like, I would have been gone, dude.
The-
But I think the cutest part was he's looking at the TV show. He sees the bandit with his
The bank robbers?
like, with his bank
Those
robber
masks.
glasses, and then he looks at the raccoon. He's like, there he is. I'm gonna go get him.
It's so funny, which doesn't even make any sense because he has he's a baby with a mask. He's put that same thing on his own face to when he goes to fight bad guys or whatever.
It's so
not
funny.
self-aware.
Seriously, it's like, you know what? Nah, that raccoon was Rocket before Rocket was Rocket.
Oh my God, yeah, all the laser
his-
eye energy that he
Ja-
laid
I
into
feel
his
like
body.
Jack
turned him
Jack's
into-
need to destroy the raccoon and save his garbage can, like, made him have powers.
He was an
like,
intruder.
my powers have manifested. I gotta get this
They
guy.
ignited at that very moment.
He phases through the wall, hovers up the lid to the garbage can. He has so many
He
powers,
puts the lid
dude.
on. Mm-hmm.
I think my favorite part of that whole interaction is that you can just get ready to bleep me. He just like beats the out of that raccoon.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't like just attack it with his powers. He
Right.
like beats it and is just like, I don't even care. Like
He
I'm coming
destroys
at
that
you.
thing. So that's what the
And then he
animators
powers it.
That's what the animators were talking about in the scene. They were like, "This is actually a really tricky scene to plan out because." In any other situation, a raccoon versus a baby, like the baby would be eviscerated. The
Oh,
raccoon
God.
would tear it to shreds. So we
Yeah.
really had to have Jack just beat the crap out of the raccoon to show that he wasn't in danger of being murdered by the raccoon.
Because can you imagine what people would say if
Right.
like he was
it would have been a
actually in danger?
terrifying scene.
Yeah.
But since he comes at him by turning into fire and turning into a monster and
Dude, the
multiplying
scene where he
into
like
a million
turns into a
babies.
fireball is like kind of scary.
Oh, for
Picking up
sure.
the lawn furniture and tossing it aside as it's on fire, and the raccoon is all trapped in the one thing is very funny.
Chase Lounger.
It's very silly.
Which no doubt I've gotten caught in those too. I hate those things.
Those things suck. So
Why's my foot stuck? Yeah, they're awful.
I hate those.
So Jack proceeds to beat up this raccoon, and Bob eventually wakes up. He's like, my baby's gone. And it's outside and it's fighting a raccoon. And he goes out there and sees that Jack has powers. And, he's immediately very proud. He's like, oh my God, you have powers. You can multiply. That's so cool. That's such a cool power. And then Jack like sneezes and does like 5 more powers. And he's like, oh.
Literally like,
this is
this
no
is
good,
not good.
at all.
My favorite scene of Jack though is when he keeps getting out of bed and like going to the TV and Bob keeps having to put him down or whatever, and he reads him the books and Jack's on his shoulder looks so tiny because freaking Mr. Incredible is so huge.
Oh yeah, he's
when
literally just laying on his shoulder.
He looks like a little cat like on his shoulder or something because Mr. Incredible is so huge. And he's reading the book and he's falling asleep and Jack's like, boom,
He
boom.
just slaps his face
Slaps
a
him
little
on
bit.
the face like, come on, Dad.
Keep going.
Literally so cute.
Wake up. We got stories to read, buddy.
Jack's so cute.
Yeah, Jack.
Yeah, he has all the powers under the sun. So, and then Violet comes home.
From her non-date, where
From
she
her
got
non-date.
stood up from a person whose memory was
Which
wiped.
was so sad.
Yeah,
I
he
was
got-
like, oh,
Very
that's
sad.
a teenage, like the worst thing that could happen to a poor girl.
Yeah, he got obliviated. He got Men in Black neuralized real bad, and
he
don't
has
remember her no more.
Mr. Incredible has no idea how to deal with a teenage girl, for sure.
No, he does not.
He didn't even offer her ice cream. She had to go get it herself.
She had to get it herself.
Well, and it was
Yeah.
cute too because the next, well, not cute, I suppose, but the next day at school, she's like, "Hi," like at Tony's
Yeah, I
locker, and she's
told
like,
Andre.
"I wrote my address in permanent ink on your locker," and I'm like, "Oh my God, Violet, stop."
I was like, dang, that took some courage to just go up to. I probably would have done that.
He's
That's
And
like,
then
crazy.
he's
"Who
like-
are you?"
And like, do I know you? And Luis was like, "Oh no, so sad."
Really sad.
And she's still trying to hold it together. She's like, "Oh, that's funny. You get points for being funny." She's just losing her little teenage brain.
Oh, it's so
it's
sad.
very sad.
Well, and so then freaking Elastigirl calls him and is like, how was your day? And he was like, oh,
It's pretty
fine,
good, yeah.
fine,
Violet's
fine.
day went fine, and then
She's like, so I don't need to come home. You can do it. And he's like, no, I got this,
Nah,
homie.
nobody has powers that we didn't know had
She's
powers
like,
here.
how was your day? And she's like, I saved a MF train, okay?
Right. So that's the thing. Elastigirl's first mission. She goes out on her bike, and they're launching a new train in the city. And she's in the city of New Urbum.
Yeah, with an M.
With an M instead of N, not urban, but Urbum. Anyway, she's out there in this dumb city name. And as the train launches, it starts going in reverse. So she has to chase it. And while she's doing it, she's doing like a whole bunch of like calculations and stuff in her head.
She's like Spider-Man too, like just straight up going through the city.
Right. Yeah. As she's driving through, she starts like slingshotting herself up buildings and stuff like that. But she's also talking through her microphone to the Devers, and she's like, "How can we shut down the train? Can we turn off the auxiliary power? Can we do all
I
this?
think
Can we
Dash
shut off the city
calls
and
and
stuff
asks
like
where his
that?"
roller skates are.
Yeah, she feels a call from her son. She's doing a lot. She's a multitasking mom. She eventually catches up to the train, rides on top of it, realizes that there's not going to be any more track left for the motorcycle, and has to kick it up into the air, and it explodes. And
it's so
I
funny because
cry.
the whole time Luis is like, she hasn't even what did you say? She hasn't
even like destroyed anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing she destroyed was
was
the
her
bike.
own motorcycle. Yes.
Yeah, it's fine.
She like threw it up in the air and then was like, "Okay."
They
Yeah.
got money. They can get another one.
Exactly. So she goes up there. She decouples the train like in Solo, and then she parachutes it to go slow, and then
Freaks me out when she makes herself a parachute.
it's really cool.
It's really scary.
I like it. It's it's a tummy tuck. A serious tummy tuck. She slows down the train
Stop it.
and stops it, and when she goes inside and confronts the conductor, he snaps out of like a hypnotism, and we see on the screen a message from the
It's like,
screenslaver.
welcome back, Elastigirl. or
Welcome
something.
back, Elastigirl.
Yeah, that's the thing about when superheroes come back is the villains are like, oh, we can come back too.
Oh, y'all coming back? Okay, we gonna go back too. All right, sick. Let's fight. Let's have some fights in the city. Yeah,
Yeah.
the homies are out.
So yeah, she saved the day.
So yeah, she absolutely saved the day, and it's all on the news. And she calls Bob, and
And she was like, and no casualties.
she was hyped about her
Woo!
major success. Which, if Bob had gone out there, he definitely would have broken some stuff. Because we saw in the first movie when he stops a train, the whole thing gets all jacked up. Everybody's neck hurts. You know?
That's right. That's why the superheroes got illegal. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
That's so funny.
So the screenslaver is out there. And Elastigirl is, her mission is now to try and figure it out. She meets an ambassador lady. She goes on a talk show, and when she's on the talk show getting interviewed, actually, did this scene happen after she met all the new superheroes? I'll do that first.
No.
Oh,
This was before.
That was after. Okay. So yeah, she gets interviewed, and while she's being interviewed, the interviewer, he starts blanking out and talking all robotic and stuff like
It's
that.
actually really creepy. Like, if this was like a live action villain, I'd be like, this is awful.
It's a very cool concept.
It's creepy.
She realizes that the TV interviewer is being hypnotized by the screen behind her.
I think this whole interchange is one of my favorite areas of the whole movie.
It's shot like really well. Once again, this movie is gorgeous, and they did a whole bunch of improvements on like lighting and shadows and stuff like that. So when she's like sleuthing through the city, it looks just so cool.
Screensaver reminds me of the last thing you want to play a game.
Saw. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like creepy.
Jigsaw.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
on a little bike.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gross.
It's gross.
He mind controls and says that he's attacking the ambassador who is leaving on a chopper. So Elastigirl jumps into action. She realizes that everybody is getting hypnotized in the news station or whatever. And so she runs and flings herself up onto the choppers, makes her way into the ambassador's chopper, and kicks everybody out of the window, and they all fall into the water.
Also, I feel like if this wasn't a Disney movie, that Elastigirl would have a potty mouth. For sure. Because there's a one point where she's running through the thing, and and she's like, where's the nearest window? What she really wants to say, where the nearest window? And when she throws him out, like, she's like, can you swim? Okay, yeah. Like, kick him out. Like, this whole scene, I'm picturing her just like actually cussing.
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel like superheroes actually do.
I mean, yeah, I can definitely see like a hardcore version.
Yeah.
Cap wouldn't.
Incredibles. Cap would never.
No, Cap wouldn't.
Cap would never. No. He barely.
If I was a superhero, yes.
Language.
No, wait, doesn't he?
He barely said it was
does cuss in
America's
one,
butt.
huh?
Only because he says he has America's booty.
He curses a couple of times after those statements about him being the potty mouth detective or whatever come up.
Let me try.
Yes. So Elastigirl manages
trying to get relevant.
She manages to save the ambassador from near death or whatever, and get her onto the ground. And the screenslaver, gets away once again.
But because she saved the ambassador, they want to start
doing negotiations
writing
for
this
making
petition or signing this thing into law to make superheroes legal again.
Yes, exactly. Starts the
turns out
ball
if
rolling.
one saves your life, you're like, okay.
Right, and they have all the body cam footage from her suit now. The DevTech released.
And not a single lick of damage.
Right.
Well,
Only
no,
no
she
damage.
broke the window.
She
Get out the building.
I mean, but she nailed it.
But that's not like taxpayer stuff. That's more of a private.
It's very
enterprise
very minimal damage overall. She
only M said
Well,
like it
those
was only
choppers
that weird stop sign on the train that she quote unquote
Oh yeah,
destroyed.
it was
Little
like a
stuff.
barrier.
I think
or
everything else
something.
was just like private property.
Well, the
Sure.
helicopter hit something at the end, but
it's
like
that construction site, but it looked like it was a private place.
it's all fine. Once again, no casualties.
Yeah.
Other
She-
people's money. It's not.
she
other
saved
I
people's money.
literally
the day.
love when she pushes them out the helicopter into the river. Get out.
So because of how much she nailed it, they throw a little party in her honor. They introduce her to everybody at DevTech, and she says, thanks everybody, I saved the day or whatever. And then I think she meets the new superheroes. Is that where we're at?
I think they find
super.
I think they find the screenslaver first, but
Right.
it doesn't either way. Like regardless of the order,
No, it's before, because she goes in to the DevTech and she's like, it's nice that I saved the ambassador, but like the screenslaver is still out there. And he's like, okay, it's fine. Like, you're going to get him. And she's
Right.
like, no, I need to find him now. And then Evelyn's like, well, there's some people waiting in there for you. And they have like a little party, and then she feels
That's
better.
right. Yeah. So she goes in. She meets the new supers. These are new people that the DevTech has found who have superpowers, and they've been in hiding, but they all got outfits and names and
and they got
backstories.
weird powers.
Like, Void is cool, but
Void
the
is
other
cool.
ones have
Void,
like.
the one that like
She makes portals.
Yeah.
that one was really
Which
cool.
is very
that's
cool.
a useful power.
I feel like I've talked about it a million times, but in the X-Men, when the Porter Girl is in Days of Future Past.
Yes.
That one's one of my favorite. Like,
her name
Yeah.
is Blink, I think.
so cool. I really like that idea.
So there's Void. There's Volstatics or whatever. He's the electricity dude. There's Brick, who's just a big lady. There's
Wait a minute, was it a lady?
so she
No.
had like lady proportions. I thought
I
it was
thought
just
it was
really
a
big.
dude.
it was a dude.
It was just really big pecs.
I thought it was a dude.
Did not think it was
Some big backs.
I
I
don't
never
know.
thought it was a lady.
And then
one that-
Reflux.
Yeah, Reflux,
Reflux.
and the owl Screech.
Oh,
Screech.
Screech was
Yes.
I
crazy.
was like, but Screech isn't a human. Like, what's
I
going
mean,
on?
he's an owl dude. You know,
Okay.
sometimes you get stretchy powers, and sometimes you turn into an owl.
how does he live his life in hiding?
I guess so.
He just hangs out at night. I guess he's a security guard or something. I don't know.
Security guard.
Yeah, so all of these new supers are there, and they all look up to Elastigirl, and they all have a fun party, and they chit chat with each other. And then Elastigirl has a drink with Evelyn, and they kind of go over how cool and smart they both are. You know, they're just having like really cool, deep conversations about what it's like to be a lady in this game, and what it's like to be a lady in Evelyn's game. You know, she's like, I don't want to do the sales stuff. I just do the designs. He does all of that, and I get to do the cool stuff.
And I feel like this is like a really prime example of where this movie, it's a kid's movie, but like this whole 5-minute interaction, because it goes on for
Sure.
a second,
Yeah.
It's an
like
adult.
would just be so.
It's an adult conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be so. Yeah, I mean, even I was like, okay, like I can see where it's going, but like it's talking about like being a cynic and like
Right.
like economic stuff that kids would just absolutely wouldn't get.
But I love that Pixar does that.
Oh, for sure.
You know, like as much as their movies are for kids, they're for us too.
Yeah, they
For
realize
sure.
that adults are watching this with their kids
Right.
for sure.
Exactly.
And also, it's okay to put those concepts in there for kids, and they're going to go back and, like we did later on, and watch them and be like, oh,
there was a whole nother layer
You know?
to this movie that I had no
100%.
idea about.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So it's during this conversation that Helen gets the idea to trace the signal of Screenslaver's next message, and to do that, she's going to set up a phony interview so she can track him down and find him and knock him out or whatever. So she sets that up and goes out. I think at this point, Bob is still at home with the kids, and he's feeling bad about what's happened with Violet and Tony Ridinger.
Oh, no.
So he takes he calls Rick Dicker and finds out where Tony works. Takes Violet, Dash,
so
and
sad
Jack
because
Jack.
he thought he was being a good dad.
He takes them all to the Happy Platter where
Louise,
where Tony
Take
works.
notes not to do.
Yeah,
Don't
that.
ever
this.
do that.
This is a bad move.
He thought he was being a good dad.
He gets a booth in Tony's section.
Wait a minute, you think I'm gonna help my daughter get a boyfriend? You must be out of your mind.
You're gonna let her make all those decisions on your own? On her own?
Yeah, I don't know.
Never mind.
They go sit by the philodendron.
We'll get to this in 10 years.
She is not gonna have a boyfriend until she gets married, man.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
a smart plan. Those marriages always work out.
Right.
So Bob goes to the Happy Platter with everybody. Tony shows up. He's like, "Hey
Kinda
guys,
wanna
what's
go
going
there.
on? Can I take your order?" And then Violet looks up at him as she's taking a sip of water and just spurts water out of her nose so hard.
And I could feel the burn as I'm
Oh.
watching her on the screen. I feel her pain because they make her eyes water and her face
Her
turns
eyes
red.
bulge like they're
and
gonna
I'm
pop
just
out of her head.
I know how much pain she's in
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
Emotionally and actually physically.
the
too.
height of embarrassment
Yes,
pain
so
is
bad.
there. And then Dash is just there to make it all better. He's like, "Hey, Tony, what's going on? I'm Dash. I'm the younger brother."
Dude, he's the best. I love Dash. He's
And
so
then
funny.
Bob is like, "This is some very fine tap water you have here."
Refreshing.
What is it? And then Dash is like, "Oh, very nice tap." It's so stupid.
Because Dash is just copying his dad.
Yeah.
He's like, yes, a nice tap.
It's hilarious.
I hate it so much.
So
so
Violet
funny.
is just like, "Oh
Like being
no."
a teenage girl in my past life, I'm like, oh God,
it's
no.
horrible, but it's so good.
It's cool because, like, you can put yourself into any of their shoes, right? You can put yourself into Violet's shoes, being embarrassed by your parents, or you can put yourself into Dash's shoes, just embarrassing your siblings and your parents and all of that stuff. It's really good. Or even being the dad and just making terrible decisions.
Yeah, he doesn't. He just
make it-
doesn't get that kind of home life stuff yet. Because if you think about it, he was just working in that office for ages and ages
Yeah,
before this.
That's true. The insurance company. So Helen sets up her faux interview. She goes out there. She starts tracking the screenslaver's signal, and she starts like rubber band parkouring all over the city. It's so
Dude,
cool
it's
the way she
so
moves.
good.
I love it.
Cool.
Yeah, she's parkouring and flipping and flying and floating. She finds him in an apartment building. She goes up to the apartment and she sneaks in. It's very dark in there, but there's all kinds of weird screenslaver stuff all over the walls.
Yeah, it's basically like all the evidence.
Yeah,
All of it.
yes. There's a ton of stuff there. There's references to hypnotism, and there's
It's creepy too.
tech equipment, and there's the mask, and then she goes into a room and there's a set of goggles, and when she looks at those, screenslaver comes in and sets up a trap for her.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and that trap is creepy. Because like I could even feel the brightness like from the screen.
Well, yeah,
like watching it, I was like, oh
I think
jeez.
they had to put an epilepsy warning on this movie
Well,
specifically
remember
for
I
that
turned
scene.
away. I was like, ah.
It's super
gee.
bright. They blast
The
the
strobe.
screenslaver hypnotism stuff at you while she's fighting in this room, which looks really cool. He's like zapping her with a cattle prod, and it's like numbing her arms and legs and stuff like that as they fight. It's cool. She chases him out of there. Runs down the hallway and pushes him out of a window and catches him at the last moment, and he's been taken down. The screenslaver is over, dog.
Yeah, but he blew up all the evidence.
And he sets off a bomb and blows up the evidence in the apartment. So she takes him away. She takes off the mask, and he's like, "Whoa, what's going on? I'm just a pizza driver. This is crazy. Bye." And he gets carted off into a police car.
Poor dude.
Speaking of pizza,
Yeah, yummy.
hey Lou, want to order a pizza?
We're getting some of that right now.
DoorDash.
You want to buy a sundial?
Buy a sun-dried tomatoes
Southern name for
pizza.
pizza.
Sun-dried
Sun-dried
Mediterranean,
tomato pizza
Mediterranean pizza
That'd be kind of good. I could have some sun-dried tomatoes on a
with
pizza.
some bacon,
with some bacon.
With some
DoorDash some hot Cheetos.
Cheetos?
hot Cheeto,
Okay, weirdos.
Hashtag always snacking.
crumbled cookies.
So
Better
Helen.
get on that. They're about to close.
No, I said pizza. Anywho,
Pizza.
So Helen took down
Get it, dude.
the screenslaver, and meanwhile at home, Bob is dealing with Jack, whose powers are just going hog wild all over the place, and he has not slept in what looks like 80 hours or
Jack
something like
freaking
that.
keeps going to the other dimension, and he can only get his cha-cha num-num cookie.
Dude, I
Cha-cha
feel
wanna cookie.
Jack,
Num-num
because there was
cookie.
times when Addie was
Num-num
just
cookie.
like up all night, and I'm just like, no.
Num-num cookie.
No way.
I
Yeah.
like this is one of my favorite scenes. It's silly, but like when Lucius comes over and he's just like, "Dude, like your
Are
life."
you
stop."
okay?
And he just makes like a huge ball of ice for Jack, and he's just sitting there licking
It's
it
so
like while they're
cool.
talking. I'm like, that's friggin'
He's like,
funny.
you need some sleep, dog. You need to figure out something to
No,
do.
I think he says you need a whole life readjustment. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he says, like, he's going to call E.
Yeah.
And Lucius is like, what?
What are you talking about? How is that going to help you?
He's like, I'm just going to go to E.
Yeah, so he
Ask
makes the
her.
sleepy decision to take Jack to Edna Mode's house, and she lets him in, and is like, Robert, what are you doing here?
Ghastly. You look terrible.
I know nothing about parenting. I was never burdened with children.
You sound like just like her.
I like how she's like, done. What does he say? Like done well. It's an honorable.
It's a heroic act.
Done well.
Heroic
Parenting is a heroic act.
And then she's like,
Done well.
well.
I'm lucky that parenting has never afflicted me.
Yeah, afflicted. That's the
so
word.
good.
So she's very much against doing any of this babysitting
Yeah,
nonsense.
because she's a
that
fashion
Bob is talking
designer.
about.
She ain't got no time for no babies.
But then she lays eyes on Jack, and Jack starts shape shifting into
well, at
her
first
face.
she's like, "What are you doing? Get it away from me!" Yeah,
He pops out
shapeshifts,
a Edna nose and some Edna eyes and some Edna hair, and she's like, I am obsessed with this thing. It floats all around, and she immediately becomes obsessed because of how many powers Jack has, and she's like, Bob, get out of here! I'm going to take Jack. I will take him for the night. Goodbye.
good eye.
Auntie
He's
Edna.
like, "Okay."
Yeah, he's like,
Yes.
all right, cool, sounds good. And then he goes home and sleeps for 17 hours.
Yeah, but he has a nice conversation with Violet before that.
That's true.
He says that he just wants to be a good dad, and
He's
so
sorry about Tony. My
about
bad.
Tony, and she said she's super.
About
and then he sleeps for
Tony.
17 hours.
Yeah, he takes a long
They're just watching cartoons and
dad
eating
nap.
cereal.
Yeah, which is
Typical
cool.
kid stuff.
I think when he wakes up is when Dash finds out about the Incredicar or the Incredimobile. I keep wanting to call it the Incredicar,
Incredible.
but it's the Incredibile. Yeah, like Incredible. That makes sense. which is a car that Bob had in the very first movie back in the day, and he hadn't been seen again. But apparently, it's been put up for auction, and some rich guy has it now. But it's got a whole bunch of features, and Bob still has the remote.
Which she can control, even though it's not anywhere near, which I thought was very funny.
Controlled it through the TV, apparently, which is cool. So Helen, back at the DevTech Studios, is, she's happy that she caught Screenslaver, but she's still like, I don't know, that seemed like too easy. It was too weird. He didn't seem like he was the guy that did all the stuff.
Yeah, but first they have to go pick up Jack
from
Edna.
Edna. Oh, okay, let's go there.
They go there first. Then that happens after. So he's upset about the credit card, and he's like, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. I'll just let him have the car.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I got to go get Jack, right? So he goes back,
to
and
Edna's
Edna
house.
has done a whole thing with this baby, okay?
A whole thing.
Also, the baby listens to her very well.
They are best friends.
Yeah.
Like, they
They're
walk the same.
height, yeah.
Dude,
same
the way
height.
that she get, the
I
way
just
that the baby
remembered
gets
who
into
could
the
play a real life version of Edna mode if this were to go. Sorry, Ems.
Who?
Pauly Shore would be the perfect Edna mode.
I'm Edna. He's
He's like cheese.
The cheese whiz dog in a Goofy movie.
Oh, yeah.
Pauly Shore. That's hilarious.
The perfect Edna mode. man.
Yeah, but her and the baby are the best. I love that she's like, she gives him a lollipop.
I like how
walks,
he
like,
gets
just
into
like
the facility.
Oh yeah, she put all of Jack's biometrics into the security systems at her house.
She's like, I stayed up all night while he slept.
Yeah,
Look at this suit.
it's fantastic.
She's like, your goal is to survive parenting, and I have made it possible.
She's so cocky.
She is cocky, yeah.
But she's right. Is the thing. She created this suit that can adapt to all of Jack's powers,
It
all of
has
Jack's
sensors
known powers
For
anyway.
when he's gonna change powers.
Mhm. So it can suppress the fire. It can what else can it do? It can
It's fire resistant.
it can find Jack when he disappears to a different
Yeah.
dimension. It can change his sizes
It
with
also
him.
like notifies you if he's gonna like go into his demon form.
Right, it notifies you what powers he's using
Yeah.
at what time, which
It's
is cool.
sick.
It's a great tablet suit combo. So Bob takes that home, and how did the kids find out that?
He shows them. Remember, he like holds the baby and he's like, blasters, pew pew
Check this
pew.
out! Pew pew! He's shooting the baby with their eyes. Very funny.
He says he's doing that to try to teach him to control his powers,
Yes.
which is pretty good actually.
it's pretty cool. I like it. I like it a lot.
But that's when he gets a call from Evelyn, and she's like, "Come get your wife."
Right.
So now you.
So Evelyn, she's still investigating the Screenslaver stuff because she can't figure out exactly why.
She thinks it was too easy.
Yeah, why I feel so fishy. So she's looking at the mask that she took off of Screenslaver, and she's like, it's all hypnotism. And then Evelyn walks in, and she's like trying to describe her problem to her. And she's like, it's all hypnotism. I don't understand why he seemed like he was hypnotized. Maybe the screens can be any kind of size. And she like pulls the mask inside out and finds out that there's goggles inside the mask. And at that very moment is when Evelyn slaps some hypnotism goggles onto Helen herself.
No, these like magnetic or something. They didn't even go around her ears. Slapped them on her face hard.
It's like one of those slap bracelets, you know? It just wraps around your head all tight like that.
How do you know it's not magnetic to her face?
I don't know.
Magnetic
I just
to
said
her face, to all the
she
metal in her
slapped
face?
really hard in the face to put those glasses on.
I don't think she cares about bruising at this point.
She was like, kablam!
So Evelyn reveals her whole
Dude,
supervillain
yeah, she put
deal,
her in a room that's like negative something degrees.
ice cold or whatever, and so like
That makes perfect sense with the science. Like if she were to expand and try to do anything, she would just like
she would break, she would shatter if she tries to stretch, which is cool.
The science was sound.
And you know how important that is to Luis in animated movies.
So she explains that like her brother is this dumb idealist, and she's been the brains this whole time. He doesn't even know that she's a bad guy or
Just
whatever.
so everybody knows it. Just order the pizza.
Oh,
Hey,
nice.
question though. Am I the only one who thinks like she's Angelina Jolie?
I mean,
I didn't get that vibe.
She got lips.
No,
She got lips.
not the vibe, but just the way she looks. Like
No,
if you
I
give
don't think she
Angelina
looks
Jolie
like
that
Angelina
haircut,
Jolie.
it's Angelina Jolie.
Looks
I
more
mean-
like Halle Berry.
Well, to a certain degree, yes, I'd
Maybe.
agree with you.
I think I see Angelina
looks
Jolie
more
more
like-
than Halle Berry.
Rosal,
The lips and the eyes make it Halle Berry.
what's that girl from And I'll just soup in the night nurse.
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
If she had that haircut, perfect match.
Okay, I can see all this. This cartoon looks
Just
like all
put
these
them
real
all
ladies.
together. Yeah.
So Evelyn is like, yeah, my brother's an idiot. I'm the one with the real plans here. And I have to make sure that supers are never legal again because you guys only bring terror, death, and destruction. Like there's nothing good about the superheroes at all. So I'm going to use you instead of killing you, which I could do because I'm very smart. I'm going to use you to further my goals. So that's when Bob gets the call to come over because Helen is in trouble, which she definitely is, but not for the reasons he's told.
But I love that Bob is like, Lucius, get here. I'm going. Save the kid.
Gotta go save my wife. You protect my kids. Go.
Because Lucius is the realist.
Oh yeah, he's
like the best friend.
he's a good uncle.
The one thing I'm upset about is Andre, you're the uncle.
I'm the Frozone.
Frozone.
If I could make little ice balls.
Just so the listeners know, the other day I had to call Andre and ask him if he could come watch my kids.
Yeah.
Because I had to go to work and Luis couldn't be here on time. I was like, Andre, come watch Olivia.
Yeah.
And he totally came, and
I totally did it.
And now Olivia is
Olivia
100%
loves Andre.
on Andre's
You guys
team.
weren't attacked by supervillains.
She gets so
It was
excited.
pretty easy.
She was saying Andre and at dinner, and Luis was like, "Where's Uncle Andre?" And she's like, "It's right there."
She's very cute, and we're homies.
She loves her.
So yeah, Bob leaves. He takes the station wagon to go save his wife, and before Frozone comes over, Violet starts getting suspicious. She's like, "Okay, well, Dad just left, and Mom's been gone for a while, and apparently Lucius is on the way, so some stuff is about to go down. I'm putting my costume on." And Dash is like, "I thought you renounced your superheroes. Renounce your superheroes? What did I just
Renounce being a superhero.
Renounce being a
And she
superhero.
says, "I renounce my renunciation."
Yes. That's what I was trying to get to. Thank you.
And also Dash is like, interesting. So he calls the Incredicar.
Yes,
or the
with the
Incredible
remote.
too, because when they open the door, they think it's Lucius, but it's all those
It's all
creepy
the new supers,
superheroes.
and they've all got the mind control
glasses,
goggles on, which is scary. But Frozone shows up right
Dash
after
is like,
them, and he literally finesses his way into the house. Like, "Hey, what's going on, kids?"
interesting. They called me too.
Which is really interesting because I feel like this is where even if Luis says that he's not a good speedster, that doesn't mean he's not a good superhero, because even though he's whatever age, he 100% was able to read the situation and be like, "Oh,
I know what to do."
Like similarly with Violet, like, "Oh, something's not going well." Like if it were my kids, they'd be like, "Oh, you got candy? Come on in the house. Come on in.
You guys got cool costumes.
Like,
Let's
how
talk about being
nice.
superheroes.
You an owl?
You look like you're being hypnotized. Please come
Let's
in."
be friends.
Who's Use Owl?
So at least they were able to like read the room.
Right, yeah.
Oh,
Who's
okay.
Use
Have some
Owl?
good stranger danger.
That got
It's
me,
funny
Luis.
because it's true.
Who's Use Owl?
Owl.
Kids.
The funniest thing that Addie has ever said is, Ez picks up the phone, and she's like, "Hi," and then Addie's like, "Mama, let me say hi," and then, "Who's Use?"
Wait, she knew it was you, right?
No, she just wanted to say
She just
hi.
wanted to
but
talk
she
on
didn't
the
To
know
a
phone.
random
Who's
person.
Use?
No, she wanted to say hi to a random person, and then she has the phone in her ear. She's like, "Who's Use's name?"
Who's Use Owl?
Oh God, I can't.
That's a good kid.
So
So the kids and Frozone have to fight all these new supers, right? And they haven't met any of them yet, so they don't know the Crush Dude and the Void Lady and the Reflux Man and
Ugh,
all
so
of them
gross.
being all gross and nasty with their powers. But they're able to narrowly make an escape.
Yeah, because Lucius is smart and activates the voice control and tells them to say their names.
Yeah, he adds their voice control names to the car before they throw some mind control goggles on Frozone himself. The kids hop in the car and say, "Car, escape!" and it gets out of there, which is really cool.
Like, what a good car.
Yeah, very, very awesome car. So Bob makes his way back to DevTech, where he meets with Evelyn, who's like, Helen's in here, she's acting all weird. And then Helen attacks Bob with her mind control goggles on. And this is a kind of a cool fight scene where we get to see who would win this fight. And apparently it's Elastigirl.
Yeah, because she kissed him, and he was like, "Oh, okay."
It was
Men.
cool because they were fighting, and like Mr. Incredible was was overpowering her for a second, and then Evelyn like changed tactics and went in for the smooch and
Smoocheroo.
and put the mind control goggles on, which is cool. So all three of the older heroes have been taken control over, and they're on the boat. And on the boat, they're supposed to be doing a summit to legalize superheroes once again. So they got all these ambassadors and other worldly superheroes from other nations and stuff like that are on the boat.
Also, they have the baby with them still.
Well, yes, Violet and Dash have the baby and have driven out to where the boat is, and it turns out that the Incredible can turn into an Incrediboat, and it,
Yeah.
I won't lie.
it
It's
slides
so
out
cool.
there. This car is awesome. I want it. Me.
Oh, for sure.
I
Me.
want one.
Absolutely.
So while they're boating out there, the Evelyn's plan is coming to fruition, right? She has Mr. Incredible, Elastigirl, and Frozone as they're signing this new superheroes or legal treaty, like renounce their hatred for humankind or whatever. They're like, you will always be beneath us and we will rule over you or whatever on
This is
live
where
TV.
I'm like, okay, I mean, I get it, but this
It's
is
a
where I
bit
start to
much.
feel like the plot of it, or maybe just the execution of it. Like, I get
Yeah.
it's a cool plot
Yeah.
overall, but I feel like
It's a bit much.
It's interesting that she just wanted to make sure that they stayed illegal. Like, she could have like sabotaged her brother's like company a little bit
Yeah.
better or in a different way. It would have been, I guess, a little bit more compelling if she wanted to like kill all of the
Yeah.
supers. But I guess that might be too adult for the
maybe
kids movie part of it, right? I don't
maybe
know.
yeah.
But they could have had her do like a world domination kind of thing. You can get
Yeah.
away with that in a kids movie. But a specific, I want to kill all of these types of people, genocide kind of thing.
Yeah,
I
I guess
is
that's-
not
yeah.
cool. Not as cool. A little less chill.
I did though, even though this part wasn't my favorite, I did like the plane scene. Was really cool. Like when she's trying
when
to escape.
she's escaping.
Yes, and then like Void is trying to like get her up there.
In the plane. Yeah. So they're all converging on the boat. The kids help free the parents in Frozone from their mind control. All of the other superheroes, the new supers, as I wrote in my notes, they are fighting with the kids, and then with Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl. And as Evelyn realizes that her plan is falling apart, she sets the boat to speed towards the city and then flies off in a plane. And Helen has
It's
to
intense.
go confront her with the help of Void, and Void like tries to portal her up to the plane by shooting her through the portals.
It's
a
pretty
bunch
cute
of
because
times.
she's like, she keeps failing, quote unquote, but like it's very cool to watch her like powers grow.
Yes,
because
She's like the
talk about a
coolest
cool
out
thing.
of them.
Yeah.
yeah, Void is a cool character with a cool power. And she's still coming into her own, and she's like a very shy and awkward character.
Oh, she's cute.
It's interesting what they were able to do with her in a short amount of time. I like Void. So
do
eventually Helen gets up there, and she's confronting Evelyn, and she's like, "I don't like your tactics, lady. You and I were cool the other day, but now I'm not a fan anymore." And they start fighting. Evelyn like sucks the oxygen out of the plane and puts a gas mask on, and Helen, as she's all woozy from a lack of oxygen, grabs a what's that thing called? The little gun, the pew pew with the
I don't know.
A flare.
a flare gun,
Flare gun.
and she shoots it out the window, and Evelyn flies out. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, movie's over.
Right?
It's interesting. A lot of bad guys get killed by planes in The Incredibles. That happened in the first one too, but she wasn't dead. Helen repilots the plane, sets it to autopilot, and then jumps out and grabs Evelyn as she's like falling to her death, which is cool. And then Void helps save them and get them back onto the boat. And then as the boat is trying to crash into the city, Frozone, Mr. Incredible, and Dash, who is useful, all stop the boat.
But did he phase?
He didn't
Why did
phase.
he need to phase?
Maybe he'll get his phasing powers when he turns 13. Give the man a second, you know?
I'm just saying, you ain't no speedster until you phase.
Okay. The Incredibles 3. So they managed to turn the boat by Bob jumping into the water and turning the rudder, and then Frozone breaking off one of the sails with his ice powers, and they turn it to the side, and then Frozone like makes a bunch of ice for it to fall into. No casualties once again. Whew. Yippee.
They got lucky on that one.
Yeah,
Man.
I mean, everything that they do really comes in at the last second. And the animators in that audio commentary were saying, especially in that Elastigirl scene in the beginning on the bike, is like they're very good at what they do, these superheroes. But
for sure.
But they're not perfect. And you can see their imperfections and their struggles as they try to save the day. And they have to do everything that they possibly can to save the day. And it's those little attentions to detail that make the whole thing look real.
Well, and let's be honest, I think that's what makes it interesting, because like when we watch other movies and things are really easy, seemingly easy for like Doctor Strange or Tony Stark, whomever, it's like, there's something else going to happen because it was too easy.
Right. Yeah.
So I think it's really fun to watch this, and I mean, it is a Disney movie, so they could like make it easy and just be like, oh, it was that easy.
Sure.
But for us, it's like they're going to like take it to the limit where things are about to go absolutely disastrous, but keep it compelling the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, because sometimes it is cool to watch a superhero be like flawless or whatever,
Sure.
and that every move that they're making is the right move, and it all looks awesome.
Oh,
But
are you
Not
trying to talk
realistic.
about Barry Allen, Louise?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, good. The one time he wasn't paying attention.
but
Are you talking about when Barry Allen and
Barely.
Barley Allen.
Barley Allen
Barely
and
Allen.
what's his name phased in that airplane and
No.
ended up saving it?
No, nobody's talking about that.
I wasn't talking about that specific moment, but
Well, I mean,
when
Aw.
they phased the whole plane through a building. Like,
when superheroes
when has Dash ever done that?
he's 7, man. Give
When
him a
has
break.
Dash ever washed his hands without being told?
He's in the 3rd grade, son.
Well, when has your kid ever washed her hands without being told?
Today, actually.
Oh, get out of here. I don't believe it.
Addie's better than Dash.
Way better. And she's faster than him. Have you seen her run?
Shut
When she
up.
tucks her shoulders into her ears, she's light speed.
I'm so done right now. You can go back to not paying attention.
So yeah, it's very cool to watch them struggle throughout the entire movie. Like everything they do is hard, and it looks hard, and them pulling it off just makes it all the more exciting every time they do it. Even in this final act, which you're right is a little bit lackluster compared to maybe the first one or some other superhero
the action
movie
is good.
endings.
It's just like the plot's a little.
Yeah. I kind of wish that Evelyn wanted to murder everybody, and that was maybe built into the goggles or something like that. I don't know how they could have changed it, but
Or like maybe,
Merde.
I guess I just expected. Again, I don't always want what I expect to happen, but I guess I expected something that is his name Winston.
yeah.
Winnie. I was
Winnie.
I'm expecting Winnie to do something wrong, and she's like going to expose it. Like there's something that there's like a ulterior motive.
Well,
in
for
there.
her, the only thing wrong that he did was be so hopeful about all the superheroes. She
dare he have
just
hope.
didn't hold that
How
opinion
dare
at
he.
all. Yeah. But I liked both of them. Both of their performances were good, and I liked their relationship as like brother sister. Company running duo, who one happens to be a bad guy, and I like the twist that she is the villain, because she's kind of underplayed at the beginning, and then she has a couple conversations with Helen. It's like, oh, this lady's cool, and then it's like, I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, but when you
sucker.
know it and you watch it again, I feel like even in the first thing you meet her, she says a line where I'm like, oh. Like when you watch it again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like,
No,
my
I
brother's
agree.
naive.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's
Shane.
basically the end of the movie. They rekindle the love connection between Violet and Tony
Love
Ridinger,
connection.
and she asks him out on another date, reintroduces herself. This time he's going with the entire family. They're going to the movies,
which was very funny.
and
So cute.
as they approach the movie theater, they get like a call over the car dispatch or whatever, and they all start putting on their masks, and it cuts to a shot of Tony, and he's just like, what are we all doing? And they tell him to get out. They drop him off at the movie theater. Violet hands him a bunch of money. He's like, go buy us popcorn and get us seats. I'll be back in a minute before the previews are over. Bye. And they go off to save the day.
Which I thought was very cute, because if like you would expect a teenage girl to be like, can you do it without me?
Right, yeah. I'd be like,
But
all right,
she
go
was
for
like,
it.
oh no, like it's time.
I got
She's like,
superhero in
I
to
got
do.
things to do.
Okay, I'm about to go be invisible.
Invisible. But
And-
actually, her powers are pretty cool too, because we missed it. But in the beginning, she saved them
Pizza's here.
legitimately from the She saved them from the like.
the digging machine.
Yeah, from the blast.
Oh, for sure.
Right. Yeah, there was some shrapnel happening. So yeah, so that's the end of the movie. Overall, this movie is fantastic. I
You
already
gave us some shmoneys. I mean,
I already revealed the
It
budget.
made a lot.
1.2 billion.
It was also expensive though, so I feel like it's worth it. It played out well.
Yeah.
It was very obvious that they put a lot of time and effort into this, and it did not fall short to me.
Oh yeah, indeed.
Absolutely.
Once again, I think this movie is gorgeous looking. Like I think this is one of the best looking Pixar films in recent years. And obviously they're always trying to technologically advance and go forward and stuff like that. But even stuff that came out after, like Onward and Soul, I don't necessarily know if those look better than this movie does.
Well, and I feel like, so for example, with Soul, I think the reason why I wasn't like super sold on it, I'm so funny. The reason I wasn't hugely sold on it was because I felt like they took, okay, I realize the story is what the story is, but I feel like animation wise, they took an easy way out
Right.
by making them blobs.
Yeah.
Like
there's humans and then there's blobs.
like again, I get that they're supposed to be souls, but like couldn't they be like people
Well defined.
blobs?
Yeah.
Like instead of just a blob.
Right.
So I feel like you can't even compare this one to that or that one to this
Hey,
one.
they saved themselves some money on those edges. I'm just saying.
Oh, miser producer over here. Say all about saving some shekels.
I'm just saying, if it's $100 per frame per second just to add that corner, I'm cutting those corners.
But yeah, you're right.
Saving that shekel.
The stuff in Soul, like the blobs, they don't have the texture or the hair or any of the energy powers that are being displayed in this movie. So on Rotten Tomatoes, this film has a 93%.
Wow.
It's very high up there. Has an
93?
93.
I'm surprised it's not higher.
The audience score is actually 84%.
Really?
Critics' consensus says Incredibles 2 reunites Pixar's family crime-fighting team for a long-awaited follow-up that may not quite live up to the original, but comes close enough to earn its name.
Okay.
Incredible.
Yeah, that's what happens when you compare movies. I mean, I'll give my rating right now. This is a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
It is still a solid Pixar movie. I like it, and I'm going to watch it again soon, probably. Luis.
Don't say something stupid like you're giving it down because of Dash.
Oh, yeah, I was definitely going to say that.
We know.
Oh, no. No Uno for you.
I'm pretty sure
I'll take this pizza back.
I'm pretty sure our fans understand and know how much of a speedster fanatic I am, so they would understand my rating had I given it. But beyond that, I'd say
Had he given it?
maybe about 8.5.
Okay.
Okay, that's fair enough.
It would have been a 4.3 if he would have, since he didn't phase. But we're not
Moving
considering
on. Moving on. Andre.
I'm gonna give this movie a 9 as well. This movie's off the hook. It looks really good. Yeah, there are some story things that aren't like perfect, but overall, this movie is dope, and the world that they've created with The Incredibles is just so cool that like I want to see more of it. Not
Yeah, I'll
necessarily
take
that
another one.
like I need another one, but like if they wanted to do a cartoon or
Like they're out here trying to do another
comic
Finding
book
Dory.
or-
I don't need to see anybody finding anybody.
no, but I can see some Incredibles
Agreed.
be incredible.
They
I
made
like
3
it.
cars. They can make 3 Incredibles.
That's right.
I'm just over here waiting for Planes 3. Like, I know it's business,
no
but what
Planes.
else?
Pixar is like, yeah, we are
Fucking
too. We ain't making
Oh,
it.
Good
Planes,
Dinosaur
planes,
2,
planes,
like
the good
you get to
times.
see him with
Good
his family,
Dinosaur 2?
Oh,
No.
no.
Absolutely freaking not. Emily,
You
what are
guys
you
are
going to
awful.
give this movie?
All of you.
Dude, I like planes. I ain't watching no Good Dinosaur 2.
All you don't like puppies, okay? Whatever.
I have a puppy.
You're so weird. I don't understand that.
I like puppies
Emily.
and dinosaurs.
Nine.
What is your rating?
9.
9. It was very good.
Yes.
So
Okay.
9 means no. You're rating it as a no.
N-I-N-E, fool. Nine.
Fool. It's not a spell.
Homie, you might want to look them up because I'm not quite sure it's that.
N-I-N-E. Yeah, that's how you spell it.
No, I'm talking about like the German equivalent of it because I'm not sure. It's kind of close.
Oh,
That might be Nein. I feel like.
I think it is.
Except after
That's
C.
what I'm
I
saying.
think it's like
they're
you just
so
flip a
close.
couple letters. Yeah.
Yeah, same
So
word.
I'm really excited because
We're not watching the movie Emily wanted.
well, no,
we
we're
are.
gonna totally do that one.
Actually, no. We are all jazzed about the next movie we're doing.
We're gonna do that one after.
That's
but the next movie, also, we kind of had gotten some suggestions for this movie, and we were reading through our projected list, and it was at the bottom of our list, and it went to the top just because we want to watch it.
Right.
So we're gonna watch the sequel to Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates
Dead
of the
Men's
Caribbean
Chest.
2.
Number 2?
Yes.
Yeah, number 2.
Dead
Okay.
Man's
Pirates of
Chest.
the Caribbean, Dead Men's Chest. And I'm stoked. I'm going to rewatch one. And then I'm going to watch this. Then I'm going to watch the next one, probably.
Dude, if they could just okay, if I were Barry Allen, I would go back in
Oh,
time
dear.
and I would remove the idea of
Goodness
pirates.
gracious.
Which one was it again?
4.
Ooh, that's hot.
Because 4 ruins the entire franchise. If you
Yeah,
ask
we'll
me.
we'll talk about some all kinds of sequel
Okay.
stuff.
I think we're talking about 2.
Yes, we'll be talking about the
We
second
just watch all of
Pirates
them. I don't care.
of the
It's really
Caribbean
interesting
movie.
because I think, so I've heard, I mean, this is not my opinion, but people aren't hugely fond of 2 and 3. I actually really
2
liked
ruined
them.
my life, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Two-
I'm about to talk about it right when we get off of this.
I had a very
episode.
I had a
2
very
ruined my
strong
life.
reaction to 2 as well, in a good way. I
It was a
liked
horrible
it a lot.
way for me.
And then
It ruined my life. It was a great movie. It ruined my life.
We know. We can figure it out.
if you want to hear our opinions on the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, we did it way back in 2018 on episode 20 of the podcast.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Same for Incredibles. That was in
Back in the
2018 too.
day. In Incredibles was episode 33 in June of 2018. We was out there
Stacked year.
doing the hitters early, and now we're out
Dude,
here.
what if
That's
20,
our problem,
doing the
y'all. That's why we're out
Hey,
here with Fox
What if
and the sequel.
2021 is like the sequel to 2018?
I'm done.
We do all the sequels to all those movies.
What?
Okay, Aladdin 2, what up? Let's go.
Aladdin 2.
Yay,
Oh, I'd
yay.
watch that.
Yay. Yes, so we'll be doing all of that in 2 weeks'
So we're
time.
not going to do the King of Thieves because that's also.
That's
I'll
number
be doing
3. That's 2022. So in the meantime,
Please.
you can hang out with us on social media. We are at the Walt Vault Pod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hit us up on the gram. Slide into our DMs. Let us know what you thought of Incredibles 2. Did you like it more than the first one? Do you think it's as gorgeous as I did? Send an email to contact@thewaltvaultpod.com. Go to our merch store on bonfire.com and buy some shirts. I think a campaign may have just ended, so we may have to start another one.
But the
and
beauty is, as soon as you order it, restarts it. So
that's
That's
true.
the
That's
awesome
true.
part.
Buy a shirt with Luis's face on it. Okay, he deserves it,
Yeet.
even if he thinks he doesn't.
neat.
I'm going to add Barry Allen's quotes to it.
Yeah, put all those right underneath. I'm the fastest man alive.
Can't think of any right now.
Luis lives in the Store City.
Do all of that. Support us on Patreon. We're patreon.com/The Walt Vault. We'll be giving you some extra content there. I think eventually once Captain or Falcon America. Falcon and Winter Soldier wraps
it.
up, we'll be doing a
Falcon America.
a
Captain
review.
Soldier and Falcon America.
You know, they just needed
We'll be
to
doing
get
a
a more
review of
unique
that.
title than that, you know.
I-
So long.
I keep calling it Captain. It's the Captain America show. But once that
I just
wraps
keep
up,
calling it Falcon.
we'll do a review of that and throw it up on the Patreon first. So you'll want to be subscribed to the Patreon to get access to it. And I think that's it. You guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Don't forget that we love you very much. Subscribe to the show, leave a review, do all of that good stuff. And we will see
Bleepity
you
blue.
next time for some piratey goodness. The vault is now closed.